Well, summer is officially here in Zone 8B South, and what that means is lots of storms. So underneath there somewhere is my prize butternut squash. I'm hoping that I will be able to move this stuff out of the way. But let's talk about tomatoes a little bit. So we've had 4 days of rain in addition to this weather. And down here in 8B South, we live in basically the happy zone for just about every kind of viral, bacterial, and fungal disease that can affect any crops in North America. So when you have leaves that stay wet for a long period of time, that is basically just you're going to get kind of a tsunami of disease just spreading everywhere. So it's now that you switch gears when it comes to picking your tomatoes. Now, it's been raining for 4 days, so I have not come out to pluck off the diseased leaves, but I will come do that. My priority right now is actually getting the tree out of the way, but I am going to get a little help and come out here with that. But here's where the heartbreaker is a little bit for you. So this is the avenue of dead tomatoes. This is all the tomatoes that have died because of rot or insect infestation. Insect infestation because I haven't been able to spray for 4 days, but also even the tiniest little hole in a tomato is basically going to invite rot, just like any kind of bacteria gets into your body if you have a cut or scrape. Same thing happens. And once it gets inside, there's really nothing you can do about it. These tomatoes, I can't even compost because a lot of them have fungal, viral, bacterial diseases in them that I just don't want in my garden. So you can see as I walk down here that I have tossed out a lot of tomatoes. But I still have a lot of tomatoes. And this is where you go to a different strategy when you're dealing with tomatoes. And it's one I don't love, but I want you to take a look at this again. If you don't switch to this strategy, all of my tomatoes are going to end up in this alleyway. And the strategy is this. Your goal from this point out in 8B South is you want to get these tomatoes so that the whole tomato has started to turn color. And then you want to pick it. And then you want to ripen them on the counter or in paper bags with a banana or whatever way that you have heard about. Most of these tomatoes, I'm going to take them in. I'm going to rinse them with a hydrogen peroxide with a diluted hydrogen peroxide solution so that I can, kill any of the bacteria that are on the outside of it. But then I'm going to dry them off, and then I'm just kind of let them ripen inside. I may let them ripen on the counter if I have enough counter space. But you can see these are some really nice looking tomatoes other than that. Now, I didn't pick these green. They fell off in that windstorm that knocked that tree down. But I'm going to go ahead and I am going to see what I can do to salvage these. Now, if you pick them when they're green like this, fully green, they're not going to ripen. You have to have them so that they are starting to turn. So if you look at these tomatoes down here, this tomato right here is starting to turn, and it's pretty much got color all the way around. Same with this one. Now the problem with this one is it already has a crack in it from the heavy rain. I'm going to see whether or not this one will actually make it to ripening inside because the bacteria or fungus or virus or whatever is already going to be inside there. So we'll see. It's no loss if it doesn't. If I try and it doesn't work. So you can see with this golden bison variety, not only do they suffer from a lot of disease, but they're also suffering from a lot of split. So with this heavy rain, they all split. Now you can cut that bottom part off and eat it. Won't hurt you. I'm not going to. The ones that have split, I may or may not compost. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I obviously got to clean them up. Now I still have enough tomatoes on here that are doing well so that I can let some ripen right on the vine, and if I lose some, that's okay. Again, I can't even tell you how much I am come to appreciate these Siberias, because they just seem to be taking a beating. Now that one's got something called anthracnose on it. You can't really see it yet because it hasn't fully started eating into the fruit yet. But basically, you get little round rotten spots on the fruit. So I'll go around and I'll pick these. These are close enough to being picked. They'll ripen up in less than 24 hours. But so you can see I've got a lot of tomatoes. So if I lose tomatoes, it's not a huge deal. I mean, I've got a bunch over here, but it's the dying time. So you really need to change strategies when it comes. You need to find your tomatoes. When you find ones like this, you need to pick them. See, look at that. That one's already gone. This one right here has a wormhole in it. Probably not going to make it, so I'm not even going to bother with it. You can try it, but I know enough from doing this that that one's already got the bacteria inside. It's not going to ripen without rotting first. Down here, we'll see if I'm going to be heartbroken. Looks good. Looks good. Oh yeah. 3, and then there's a 4th one. That's got a hole in it. Doesn't even go very deep, but the bacteria is in it. Probably not going to make it. I'm going to leave this one right here, and we'll see what happens. So, switch strategies on your tomatoes. You need to make sure that you're still fertilizing. The other thing too that you want to be on the lookout for, well, let me see if I can go find some. Well, I was looking for the nymphs of a demon spawn creature called a leaf-footed bug. I just saw some for the first time. I am hoping that we are going to be done with the rain for a few days. I'm going to let these dry out a little bit, and then I am going to come hit them hard with some neem. Neem doesn't really help once they're already affected, but it can help a little bit in terms of maybe holding back some stuff from tearing them out. I'm also going to hit it again with some spinosad and some BT, which is the bacteria that help to kill mostly the soft-bodied insects in there, which those leaf-footed bugs are definitely in that category until they become the armor-plated adults, in which point you just can't kill them. I mean, you can barely even squish them. So, look, the whole point of this is growing tomatoes here is a challenge. You got to switch strategies now. You need to start picking tomatoes when the whole tomato has started to show some redness is best. If you pick them when they're fully green, they're probably not going to change at all for you. But try to pick them when they have orange all over the entire body, and then see what you can do. Some of these are really too green probably, but they fell off the bushes. So I'm going to see what I can do with them. But good luck. Don't get discouraged. It's just part of the game. That's why I plant lots of tomatoes, way too many. But anyway, look, this is proof. You know, I may lose half, but I save half, and half is good enough for me.